Top Prospects here, and we're back for the single game slate of Portland Trailblazers going against the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, let's go. Let's get it going. Okay, we have Anthony Davis back in the lineup, fully rested, had a calf injury, slated to play Monday. Davis ruled out Sunday blowout. Okay, unless head coach Tranquil says otherwise, Davis shouldn't face any restrictions. Okay, that sounds good. Now, LeBron, I feel like he's going to be facing some restrictions, regardless if Frank Vogel says yes or no. James was considered questionable after tweaking his ankle in Sunday's victory over Timberwolves. However, it appears the issue not be sidelined, bearing any setbacks. Look for the future Hall of Famer to take on his usual workload. Okay. Dame Dollar. McCollum. Then we got Nurkic, Harrell, Schroeder, Covington, Melo. Okay, ruled out. Now, Melo being out is very interesting. I believe his minutes are going to be split between Gary Trent is my third option, but I honestly think it's going to be split between D. Jones and Covington. That's why Covington is priced up there. So if you feel like Covington is like that tonight, go with him. That's only if you do, though. But I'm going to project LeBron from somewhere between a low of 30 with a high of 45 points. AD, I'm going to project AD healthy from somewhere between a low of 40 to 50 points tonight, going against Nurkic. I like that matchup. Now we have Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard might be trying to get some get back from that last playoff series between them two. And then you have McCollum, who had a 62-point outing. Played 43 minutes, had him a big game. Dame played 41 minutes, had 30. Yeah, because that Houston and Portland game was very good. It went overtime. So I'm going to project C.J. McCollum. He might face some tougher opponents with Wesley Matthews and Caldwell Pope. See, Wesley Matthews and Caldwell Pope, those scrappy defenders. That means they going to always play extra on defense and be there to hit that open shot. So, but still, that is C.J. McCollum. You see what he was doing to Houston. So I'm going to project C.J. for somewhere between a low of 35 with a high of 45, 50. You see how he hit that 60, but I'm going to project him with a low of 35 with a high of 45, 50. Now we have Damian Lillard. I'm going to project Dame from somewhere between a low of 35. No, I'm going to say a low of 40 because that's Dame with a high of 50, 55, depending on if that is a good one. But you still never know. Portland and Lakers game just don't be good just because I feel like Nurkic and their role players don't come to play like how CJ and Dame and Nurkic might. So we have Nurkic, Trez, Schroeder, Covington, and Kuzma. Nurkic going against AD, a healthy AD. I'm going to project Nurkic from somewhere with a low of 20 to a high of 30, 35 points. Depends on if Nurkic comes to play, which I feel like he will tonight. But then he also might have a lot to deal with Trez too, as AD's backup. So I'm going to project Nurkic, like I said, from somewhere with a low of 20 to a high of 35. Trez, I'm going to easily project Trez with 30, 45 potential. But I'm just going to project him from 30, 35, 40 potential. Now we have Schroeder. I like Schroeder just because I know they're not going to probably be running LeBron as much. So Schroeder might get them extra minutes. Now it all depends on what Schroeder's going to do with them extra minutes going against Portland. I feel like that could be an opening. Now I'm going to project him from somewhere between 25 with a low and a high of 30. Schroeder, yeah, 25 below, a high of 30. Now you see he can get you that 40. He almost put out a triple-double game one against the Clippers. Now if the games are good and they calling on them, I feel like, yeah, that's where Trez and Schroeder come in for the Lakers. It's hard to decide in that for Portland and Kuzma. Now we got Covington. Covington predicted at 10,000. I'm going to project Covington. He did play 38 minutes going against Houston. I'm going to project Covington from somewhere between a low of 20 with a high of 30, maybe 35. But he could get you that 35. But I feel like it's still early in the season. They still got to get their shot and whatnot. Now we got Kyle. Kyle's young. He shooting lights out. When you young like that, you gonna be shooting like Garland, Sexton, Kuzma. You know, when them boys, they been shooting lights out. They young. That's why. Now we have like Chris Paul had that one night for a season opener. Like I said, it's older. I mean, because they're older, you know, they take their time. Now we got Kuzma. I'm going to project Kuzma somewhere between a low of 19 to 20 points with a high of 30 points. That could get you that 35, but I'm going to say 30, a high of 30. Now, Caruso is not going to play, and Enes Kanter is someone who Portland likes off the bench. I'm going to project him with a low of 15 with a high of 25. Caldwell Pope, they use him too for the Lakers in minutes. I'm going to project him for a low of 15 to 20 points. Gasol, same thing, a low of 15 to 20 points. Now, Gasol was scrappy against Minnesota. That's because AD didn't play. Okay, that's why. So they called upon him more. Wesley Matthews, Gary Trent, D. Jones. I'm going to project D. Jones for somewhere between a low of 15 to 20 points. Gary Trent, I'm going to project him with a low of 10 to 20 points. A high, maybe 10 points. Wesley Matthews, how is minutes? I'm going to project Wesley Matthews from somewhere between 5 to 10, 5 to 15 points. And Rodney Hood. Rodney Hood might get some more attention too. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to project him from somewhere between 5 to 15 points as well. Top prospects here, but those are my projections for the December 28th single game slate, Portland versus Lakers. Subscribe to the tribe. Show some love. Definitely sub. I'm gone.